Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys the Series anime video. In this video I want to talk about Ash vs Leon. More specifically, I want to talk about the preview for episode 129, which will be the first episode of Ash vs Leon, and about the special preview for Ash vs Leon. Both of these previews were released on the same day, and they both give us the first glimpse of the climactic final battle that we have all been waiting for. In this video I want to break down these two previews while providing my thoughts, analysis, and predictions. So let's get to it. I want to begin by talking about the preview for episode 129, since it is shorter than the special preview and it focuses on the first episode of Ash vs Leon. The preview for episode 129 begins with Pikachu facing a Cinderace. This of course reveals not only one of the 6 Pokemon that Leon will use in the battle, but it also reveals another one of the Pokemon Leon has in the anime. Now this did surprise me, because I figured that while Leon does use a Cinderace in the games, he would not use one in the anime, because Ghost Cinderace has been very prevalent. So I did not think that they would have Leon own and use a Cinderace as well. In the preview, Cinderace is seen hitting Pikachu with what appears to be Pyro Ball. It does look darker than Pyro Ball, which is why I did wonder if this is actually Pyro Ball. Despite taking a hit, Pikachu still manages to hit Cinderace with Thunderbolt. But it's no use, since Cinderace easily disperses the Thunderbolt with a spin and a kick. Now it would be very interesting if Leon's Cinderace has Libero as its ability. The fur Cinderace has on its head does glow yellow right after dispersing Thunderbolt. This is what made me think of Libero. Perhaps Cinderace changed its type in order to take Thunderbolt with ease. Also, it will probably be weird for Ash and Pikachu to face a Cinderace, considering that they are so used to having a Cinderace as a friend and ally. Moving on, the preview then shows a Mr. Rime battling Gengar. This of course reveals another one of the 6 Pokemon that Leon will use in the battle, and another one of the Pokemon Leon has in the anime. I have seen a lot of people saying / hoping that Leon will use Mr. Rime, so their wish was granted. Now since we have not seen Mr. Rime in the anime yet, having Leon use Mr. Rime is a good idea, and it does make sense, because if you exclude the Charizard and the Galarian starters, Mr. Rime is the only Generation 8 Pokemon that Leon uses in Sword and Shield. So they clearly decided to have Leon use a team composed only of Pokemon from his region and the Charizard, and a team that matches what he uses in the games. I think that this is both fitting and cool. But going back to the preview, Mr. Rime is seen freezing Gengar with what appears to be Freeze Dry or Icy Wind, both of which are used by Leon's Mr. Rime in the games. Freeze Dry is more likely since, in the games, it can't freeze the target, unlike Icy Wind. It's clear that Gengar will struggle in this battle, but hopefully, it will be able to win. Next, the preview shows an Inteleon battling Gengar. This of course reveals another one of the 6 Pokemon that Leon will use in the battle, and another one of the Pokemon Leon has in the anime. Also with Inteleon, Leon now has 6 confirmed Pokemon in the anime, and he will use all of them against Ash. Like I mentioned earlier, he has a full Galarian team plus Charizard, and they are all Pokemon Leon uses in the games, which is fitting and cool. It also just feels so right to have a champion use all the starters of their region. So yeah, I really do like his team in the anime. Also, like with Cinderace, I think that Ash and his Pokemon will feel odd when they face an Inteleon, considering that Ghost Inteleon is a longtime friend and ally. Now I was certainly shocked when I saw that Leon has both a Cinderace and an Inteleon. It just felt so jarring to see another Cinderace and another Inteleon when I am so used to seeing the ones that belong to Go. It will be weird to see a Cinderace and an Inteleon that behave differently than the ones I know so well. Also, since Leon's Rillaboom is capable of Gigantamaxing, I think that it's safe to assume that his Cinderace and his Inteleon can also Gigantamax. Though sadly we likely won't see them Gigantamax, since you are only allowed one use of one gimmick per match, and Leon will surely Gigantamax Charizard. But who knows, he might just surprise us. Though even if he does Gigantamax Cinderace or Inteleon, he can only Gigantamax one of them, meaning that the other one will not get to Gigantamax. Since we have not seen Gigantamax Cinderace or Inteleon in the anime yet, I would definitely love to see at least one of them in the finals. This would be a nice surprise and something different. So in the preview, Inteleon is seen using a Water-type move that I honestly cannot identify. But since the only Water-type moves Leon's Inteleon uses in the games are Water Pledge, Snipe Shot, and Muddy Water, I will say that in the preview, Inteleon is using Water Pledge, since this is clearly not Muddy Water or Snipe Shot. Also, Water Pledge has yet to be used in the anime, so we don't know how it would look in the anime. But going by the in-game animation for Water Pledge, I think that in the anime, it would look like this. Also, Gengar is seen battling and struggling against Inteleon. So poor Gengar will have to battle both Mr. Rime and Inteleon, and the Gengar will have a tough time against both of them. Gengar definitely has its work cut out for it. Also, I am noticing a trend with Gengar. It always ends up having to face two of the opponent's Pokemon. This happened when battling Corina, Bogner, Steven, and Cynthia. Gengar just can't catch a break. So that's it for the preview of episode 129. Now it's time to talk about the special preview, which thankfully does not show anything of what is shown in the preview for episode 129. So everything shown in the special preview is different and thus new. The special preview begins with Leon saying, "What a great feeling," referring to the way he feels just before the battle. He is clearly very excited. He then says that he wonders why he is reminded of the day when he had his first ever battle. My guess is that he is so thrilled about his battle against Ash that he can't help but remember his first ever battle, which likely made him feel the same uncontainable exhilaration. So yeah, again, Leon is obviously very excited about battling Ash. Now when Leon recalls his first ever battle, we do get a flashback of this battle. Leon is seen facing a girl who is very likely Sonia. In fact, I am sure that this is Sonia, since this flashback shown in a previous episode shows Sonia wearing this very same outfit seen in the special preview. Sonia did mention before that she was a trainer in the past, so this flashback confirms this, though sadly we don't see what Pokemon she used to face Leon. She still has not shown any Pokemon in the anime. At least, we do see what Pokemon Leon used in this battle. He used Charmander, which is not surprising. The preview then shows Ash in the locker room with his team. Ash wonders if the Pokemon are all ready to battle. They all then bump fists so that they can do the classic thing that teams do before a big match. They form a circle with one hand forward, they say some inspiring words, and they all then cheer in unison. When Ash and his Pokemon cheer here, Ash says that they will win. The preview then shows Leon's entire team. Charizard is shown alone roaring, and the other 5 Pokemon are then shown side by side, which is very cool. The preview then shows snippets of the battle. Pikachu is seen very hurt and struggling to remain standing, perhaps because of battling Cinderace. Gengar is seen using Shadow Ball against an unseen opponent, likely Mr. Rime or Inteleon. Sirfetch'd is seen doing its best to stand back up, so it clearly endured a tough battle. Also, Sirfetch'd does not have its shield here, meaning that it lost it during the battle. Sirfetch'd is then seen passing the torch onto Lucario, who clearly intends to live up to the trust placed on it. I guess that Sirfetch'd will either be forced to switch out for Lucario or Sirfetch'd will be defeated after doing its best. In either case, Sirfetch'd will entrust the fate of its opponent to Lucario. Lucario will have to get revenge for Sirfetch'd. Dragonite is then seen using Kairyu Seigun, which is the improvised way of using Draco Meteor that Ash devised when he battled Paul in episode 114 of Journeys. Dragonite has not used this variation of Draco Meteor since then, so it's about time that this unique move is used again. Hopefully Dragonite will use it to finally get some redemption. Dracovish is then seen using Dragon Rush against an unknown opponent. I want to mention here as well that Dragonite's opponent is also unknown. Hopefully one of them, either Dragonite or Dracovish, will face Dragapult, so that we get a showdown between dragons. The preview then shows that Dawn and Chloe are in the stadium watching the battle. This is a nice surprise and a welcomed one, since not only do we get to see more Dawn and Chloe and more of Dawn and Chloe together, but this also means that Ash will have some direct in-person support, which is nice and a relief. Since Go was forced to leave Ash, I thought that Ash would be alone without any friends to cheer for him in person, which might hamper his performance. Thankfully, he will have two great friends supporting him live. I do hope, however, that we see more characters cheering for Ash in person, or at least from wherever they may be. Also, I love that Piplup is cheering while wearing his cheerleading uniform, which is a classic and it reminds me of the Sinnoh League and of the Diamond and Pearl series in general. Now, speaking of characters that will cheer for Ash from wherever they are, the preview also shows that Professor Oak will cheer for Ash as well, which is not surprising, and surely Ash's Pokemon, Ash's mother, and Tracy will be right there next to Professor Oak. Go will also cheer for Ash from wherever he is. However, it looks like he will not watch the battle, which is unfortunate. The special preview ends with Ash saying that this battle will be the culmination of the adventure that began the day he met Pikachu. We also see a flashback of when Pikachu shocked Ash back when they met for the first time. Now, this gave me some serious goosebumps, because Ash is saying that this will be the ultimate battle, a battle that will be the peak of his journey and the culmination of everything he has done and everything he has been through. It will be the battle to end all battles and Ash's crowning achievement. I do hope, however, that even though this will be the culmination of his adventure, he will not stop traveling and Journeys won't be his last series. So that's the special preview. With both previews broken down and with my thoughts and analysis complete, there is only one thing left to do, which is to provide my predictions on what will happen. Unlike the special preview for Ash vs Cynthia, the special preview for Ash vs Leon does not really reveal how the battle will play out. We do see a few of the matchups, but that's about it. So I can't really predict who will defeat who, which Pokemon will be the last one standing, etc. I can, however, predict who will be the winner of the battle. I think that Ash will win, and I actually made an entire video discussing why I think that Ash will win. I will leave a link to that video in the description below and at the end of this video, so that you can go watch it if you haven't already. Since that video has my complete reasoning for why I think that Ash will win, I will not go into too much detail in this video. Suffice it to say that I strongly believe that Ash will win. Now my belief did stumble when I saw Eternatus with Leon and when Go was forced to leave Ash. But since Ash will have Dawn and Chloe to support him in person and Leon apparently won't use Eternatus, I once again strongly believe that Ash will win. Now there is one other prediction that I want to make. This prediction relates to what gimmick Ash will use in the finals. Since he used his C move against Steven and Mega Evolution against Cynthia, Ash will very likely use Dynamax against Leon. So Gengar will likely Gigantamax. There are 3 gimmicks and 3 battles, so it only makes sense that Ash gets to use each gimmick once. Plus, using Dynamax against Leon would be fitting, since not only did Ash use Dynamax against Leon when they battled the first time, but Leon is also the champion of the region/generation that introduced Dynamax. Also, what better way to honor Sword and Shield than to have Ash use Dynamax in the final battle? So yeah, I think that Ash will Gigantamax Gengar. Though this does mean that whoever ends up facing Charizard in the final showdown, namely Pikachu or Lucario, might have to face Gigantamax without a gimmick of their own. Though I could also see Pikachu Gigantamaxing on his own, like when Ash faced Leon for the first time. This would be fitting since it means that the final battle would call back to the first battle. Things would come full circle. Now the latest opening of Pokemon Journeys does show Mega Lucario facing Gigantamax Charizard. So who knows, maybe Ash will Mega Evolve Lucario. It's also possible that Leon will Gigantamax someone else, namely Cinderace or Inteleon. I also want to point out that at the end of the special preview, Ash is seen without his cap, which suggests that he might use his C move. Finally, I do want to talk about Eternatus. The 2 previews confirmed that Leon will not use Eternatus in the finals. This did surprise me since I was sure that this would happen, considering that they had Eternatus return so that Go could entrust it to Leon. Now, Leon not using Eternatus is both good and bad. It's good because it means that Ash has a higher chance of defeating Leon. It also means that Leon won't have an unfair advantage and that he will reveal his full team in the anime. However, him not using Eternatus is bad because it would have been so cool to see Ash face Eternatus. Eternatus would have made the finals that much more exciting. I do, however, think that maybe we will have another Tapu Koko situation, meaning that Eternatus will tell Leon that it wants to battle and Leon will honor Eternatus' wish. But since Leon's full team is shown, I doubt that this will happen, because with Tapu Koko, Kukui did not end up revealing his final Pokemon. But that's everything I have for you in this video. I am unbelievably hyped and excited for Ash vs Leon. I got goosebumps just watching the previews. From the team Leon will use, to the matchups and the snippets of the battle we saw, to Ash and Leon's determination and the desire to battle each other and win, everything that was shown was just so thrilling. This feels like the biggest battle ever in the anime. It is certainly one of the ones that had the most anticipation leading up to it. Hopefully the battle will live up to all the hype and expectations. Ash vs Leon will begin in episode 129, which will air on October 21. The battle will then continue in episode 130, which will air on October 28, and the battle will then end in episode 131, which will air on November 4. I will of course post reviews for each of these episodes, both on YouTube and on Instagram. I will also make preview discussions for episodes 130 and 131 once their previews are available. So please look forward to all these videos. Also, do let me know in the comments down below what you think will happen, what you hope will happen, your overall thoughts, your reactions to the preview, etc. But that's the video, as always. Leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.